everyone, I am here today to do my March wrap-up and my April to be read. Now in March I actually read more books than I thought I would, which is fantastic. I read 5 books in March and most of them were really fantastic. Some of them were meh. So I'm just going to jump right into it and show you what I read in March. So the first book that I read in March was Beautiful Chaos, as I told you that I would finish. It took me forever to get through this book. While I absolutely loved the first 2 installments of the Castor Chronicles, Beautiful Creatures, and Beautiful Darkness, I found Beautiful Chaos to be kind of boring, and I definitely struggled to get through this book. I had planned to read Beautiful Redemption this month, and I just couldn't bring myself to read it. Maybe I'll read it next month or sometime soon after. I don't know. This, for me, was just okay. I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars. So the second book that I read this month was Warm Bodies by Isaac Marion. And this is a book about a young zombie named R and his journey from going from zombie to not zombie while falling for a human girl named Julie. So I have a video review for this book, and if you would like to see that, I will link it down below for you. But without any spoilers right now, I'm just telling you that I absolutely love this book. I give it a 5 out of 5. It is a must read. It completely changed my views on zombies and it made me love them more than I even did before, which I didn't know was possible because I'm pretty much loving me some zombie right now. I absolutely loved it. So I definitely recommend this book. The next book that I read in March was The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I also made a video review for this, which I will also link down below, so check that out. But if you kind of want a brief overview of what this is about, it's about a 16-year-old girl named Hazel who has cancer, and it's kind of her journey through her time with cancer with her friend Augustus Waters, and they just kind of go on this little journey together. I am warning you, if you want to read this book, keep some tissues nearby if you are the sensitive kind. It is a very emotional book, but it is a very fantastic book, and I definitely recommend this. I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. The next book that I read this month was The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien, and this is just one of those books that I should have read forever ago, and I actually went to go see the movie before I read the book, so shame on me. I shouldn't have done that, but this book was really quite great, and I really enjoyed it. I think I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. It's not the kind of book that I typically read, but I definitely enjoy The Lord of the Rings and all that stuff, so I really did enjoy this. I'm actually reading this book for a book club that I am a part of called the Book Generator Club, and I will link our channel down below. So every month we're going to be reading a book and then discussing the book, and for the month of April our book is going to be The Hobbit. So at the end of April you can kind of check out our videos and then you can know what we think about the book, but I really enjoyed it. The next book that I read in the month of March was Cinder. Now this is a retelling of a classic fairy tale of Cinderella, only this time Cinderella is a cyborg, and yes, you heard me right, she's a cyborg. And I honestly could not put this book down. Oh my god. Like, who knew that I would be this into like a sci-fi kind of book, but it was amazing. The story, I don't know if you've ever read a book, but you actually feel like you're watching a movie. That's what this was like. The story was amazing. The characters were amazing. I love Cinder. I love Prince Kai. So basically it just follows Cinder. Cinder is, as I said, a cyborg and she's a mechanic, and of course she starts falling for the prince, who is Prince Kai, and there's just this huge outbreak of, it's like almost like a plague, and it's called Lumatoidus or Luminitis, I don't remember. And then there's people from a planet called Lunar, which is the moon, and it's just, I can't even explain it because there's just so much that's going on. So I'm probably going to do a separate book review on this because it was just so freaking good. I gave it a 5 out of 5. This book is so good, and I can't wait to get my hands on the second book, Scarlet. And I know that there's going to be another book after that. I can't remember what it's called, but the next one, Scarlet, is about Little Red Riding Hood, and then the next one will be about Snow White. So just amazing. Let me tell you, you need to read this. It's so freaking good. So the next book I have is kind of like in limbo because I started it the last day of March and I finished it the first day of April. So it took me 2 days to read this, and that's only because I had to sleep and I had to drive for like 3 hours or whatever. That book is Duff, and this stands for Designated Ugly Fat Friend, and this is by Cody Keplinger, and oh my god, I love this book. Another 5 out of 5 for me. I could not put it down. I literally couldn't. That's why I read it like straight through 2 days. I could not put this down. I don't know. I don't even know why it was so good, but it's a story about a girl named Bianca and this boy, of course. Of course it's a boy, and of course he's super sexy. This boy named Wesley. So Wesley is like this super attractive, super popular guy, and he's a total womanizer, and he calls Bianca the Duff, and she didn't know what that means, so he tells her that means you're the designated ugly fat friend. Basically, it just kind of goes through what the word Duff actually does to her, and then her kind of life and her troubles through school and how she's coping with that. It's so good. Like, I couldn't put it down. I was so into the character Wesley that I was like, I want to meet Wesley because he sounds like a real sexy guy. It gets pretty risque at some parts, but it's definitely worth your time if you like kind of more contemporary young adult books, but I really enjoyed this book. So for my to be read pile for the month of April, I am going to start off with 13 Reasons Why by J. Asher. So I've already started reading this. I'm about 70 pages in, and I'm already hooked on this book. It is just, it's so interesting. It's about a girl, and her name is Hannah, and Hannah Baker, and she has committed suicide, and she sends out 13 tapes to people to send along to each other, and each tape is about a different person on her list, and each of these people are one of the reasons why she killed herself. So she's kind of explaining to them what they did to her to affect her life to the point where she actually took her own life. So it's a pretty dark book, but it is so interesting, and it's written really well, so I'm really enjoying this book. I read until almost like 1:30 last night because I just couldn't put it down. I will let you know. Maybe I'll do a review and I'll let you know what I think when I finish it. So the next book that I want to read in the month of April is The City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. I finally got my copy, and I am really excited to read this because I've seen the trailers and they look really good. So I want to make sure that I get this book finished before the movie comes out in August, I think it comes out. To be honest, I don't exactly know what it is about, but I think it's about like shadow hunters and stuff. Does that make any sense? The next book that I am going to read in April is The Parallel, and this is by Lauren Miller. This is a book I actually won on Goodreads, and this is not released yet. So I'm really excited to read it and see what I think because not a lot of people have read this one yet. I will definitely be doing a review on this book, and I'm not 100% sure what it's about, but I will let you know when I do my review. But it looks pretty interesting. Look at the cover. So I will be reading this in the month of April. And the last book I have on my to be read list for the month of April is Anna and the French Kiss. Just another book that I've heard amazing things about. Just kind of something lighter to kind of balance out the heavier books. I kind of like to do that. Like if I'm reading a book like 13 Reasons Why or like The Fault in Our Stars, then I like to balance that out with something kind of lighter, like Anna and the French Kiss or like Duff or something like that, you know what I mean? And this will be my first Stephanie Perkins book, so I'm really excited about that. I think that that's all that I have for my April to be read. I only put, I think, 4 books on the list, so there's a chance that I'll probably read more than that, but I don't like to set myself up for failure. I want to make sure that I can finish the ones that I have because City of Bones is kind of like a thick book, but we'll see. So if I read any more, you will hear about it next month in my April wrap-up. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see, then please subscribe, click the thumbs up button. Let me know what you're going to be reading this month. Let me know what you read last month. I would love to hear all of that good stuff. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye. Random noises. But yeah, so